Live or not. Yep, it looks like we're live. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tristan Gregson, here for the first time with Film Threat's watch party for your viewing this evening of the movie Habit. A very exciting time. Film that just came out today, a day and date opportunity. Not only is this film on popular VOD, but you can also see it in select theaters in select cities, including right here in Los Angeles, California, where we are coming to you live this evening. As is the beauty of live broadcasting, I am waiting for our guests to arrive. So until that time, I'll wow you with something for who knows how long to just kind of talk about tonight's experience. If you're new to Film Threat watch parties, what this is a second screen experience. You're going to either watch along with the movie that we're featuring here tonight, or you're coming back to this after it's already been recorded. You've already found the film to enjoy the experience. It's kind of a live commentary, unedited, unfiltered, as you can tell by me as I ramble on for minutes, as this experience is very authentic. But we are extremely lucky here, like I said, tonight to be featuring a film that you can find on popular video on demand platforms. We're talking Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Video Direct, and Vudu. That's where I watch the movie. Just talking with our producer, Aarón, about how much we are a fan of that little platform that doesn't seem to nearly get as much love these days. But it does allow you to watch it in beautiful 4K or UHD, as it's presented on a couple of spots right now. So if you don't have the opportunity to go see Habit in a theater, that's a great way to see it, as I did, as well as you may be here soon. What else can I say at this time? As you may have noticed, again, I'm a fresh face to this space. First time working with our friends here at Film Threat. Chris has handed me the ball very graciously and said, go get him, Tiger. Low pressure. I know this is a film that's, not exactly on everybody's radar. That's a joke, of course. This is a very high-profile film for us here at Film Threat. I actually got my Vudu Promotionals email earlier today, and it was highlighted as one of the films premiering just today. So very excited to be talking about it. It's a bit of an LA film. Being here in Los Angeles, we love LA movies. Not that we're super narcissistic, but we are big fans of the city that we're in, and movies and stories around that area. Not that it couldn't be a story about anywhere. Even if you haven't had a chance yet, definitely follow Film Threat on all your socials. Potentially most importantly, our YouTube channel is we not only have all of the current trailers for content that we're reviewing, but more importantly, you get updates on things like this watch party. I only had to make it a couple of minutes at a time before it looks like important people have arrived. So hopefully Alan on the switchboard can invite in the co-writer and director of the film, Janelle Shercliffe. How you doing this evening? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Great to meet you, Janelle.
That is all right. Difficulties.
That's the nature of live streaming and live content. So we appreciate you being here tonight. Word on the street is you guys are having your own little party here this evening because this is release day for you guys.
Yes. We are having our own little party. I just flew in for this, and then we're super excited.
Excellent. Well, I will raise a glass to you guys because it is very rare. There we go. Which to do this right. There we go. We got it. Insert sound here. No, we did it. We did it great.
Sure.
To have a day-to-day opportunity with a filmmaker is always great. This is your party. This is your day. So I'm super excited that you want to join us here at Film Threat to kind of talk us through the film.
Thank you so much for having me. Sorry I'm doing it from a hotel room, but I'm really excited to be doing it.
It's 2021. If a dog or cat doesn't show up or someone's fake Zoom background doesn't go down, it wouldn't be the world we live in now. So I appreciate the authenticity. Yes, very much so. Someone will get disconnected at one point. We'll be wondering if we're actually talking to each other. That's the world we live in right now.
The best I forgot my laptop. So I got here and I was like, oh my God, I don't even have the laptop.
And actually is a great kind of first question about the film. When did you guys make this? Was this a pre-pandemic, during pandemic? When did this project take place?
We made the cut pretty much 8 days before lockdown. So just barely made the cut.
I don't want to get too deep into the themes of the movie ahead of time, but that sounds like a gift from God, if you were to say.
It was a blessing for sure.
Wow, 8 days before. And then so all post, were you in a group? Was it all remote? I mean, how did the rest of that process go?
A lot of it was remote, and then some, I just would sit in, with the editor and at Braden French and my post-producer, Ailey O'Neill. They were both amazing, and we would just mask it, and we trusted each other. And, I kept a really tight bubble, and so did they. So, when we had to do in person, we would sit in a tiny theater and be like really spread out. But it was definitely it was an interesting way to do my first film, for sure. But it also, I had some time on my hands, so that it also worked out really well.
Already spinning this into the positive. I mean, you beat me to the punch. This does look like your first directorial feature. So once again, raise my glass to you on that one. Congratulations on doing it under such incredible circumstances. And you already spun it. I mean, I was going to say, maybe you had to sit on this thing for a while. Did you ever get to a point where you were like, when's this going to come out? Or was this always the plan? Was it always going to be like, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and whatever?
I mean, yeah, I guess there's always those kind of like, it's a rocky ride getting a film made from, start to finish. It's like, kind of this like tug of war of like, are we or aren't we? The writing process for us was really fast. It just kind of came out. And then, you do your investment stuff and all that. And then you're making the movie. And then there's, trial and error and a lot of learning and, post. And, COVID threw a little wrench in there. So a big wrench.
I was going to wait for your co-writer, Libby, to join us to ask these kind of questions. But before we get this thing started, because we are still a few minutes away from starting the live sync, how did that process come together? You guys were childhood friends who grew up in the same place, it sounds like. How did that go from there to screenplay to we're making this together?
Well, when we were younger, she was my first friend I made when I was a freshman walking into the high school cafeteria, and she spotted me. Libby was a cheerleader, and I was like a very like grungy kind of like Mads type, like our lead actress. So that there was a lot of inspiration that we pulled there for like the style of her from teenage me and even adult me. But minus all a lot super bad girl stuff. But yeah, so there was that. Like we had a really tight connection. Libby and I used to love getting into trouble together as teenagers. So that was also really fun, except for when we get caught. But yeah. Anyway, I got grounded a lot, but yeah. And then we were older. We both moved to LA, and we have we're like sisters. And I was doing photography and started doing directing, and then I had just had my second child. I'm a single mom of 2 kids, and I'd had my second child, and I had a newborn baby, and I was breastfeeding, and Libby came over, and I was like, why have we not, like, we need to do something together. And my baby fell asleep, and we literally in a matter of a couple hours just like were geeking out on like scenes and talking about this movie. And then there you go. Now
inspiration hits when it hits, right? I mean, you can't, this wasn't years of pre-planning. This was 2 friends that had shared a lot of experiences, sat down one day in between kids crying, it sounds like, and made something happen.
Yeah. I mean, and it was always meant to be, like the anchor of it has a lot of meaning, but then it was always meant to be like playful. It was never meant to be taken literally. It was always supposed to be just like a fun ride that had some depth to it. So, I feel like, we had, I think 14 or 16 days to execute this film. And, I think we did a pretty darn good job considering what we had to work with.
Well, it looks beautiful. And again, I don't want to take away all the potential conversation we can have while we're playing the film. The color is so vibrant. The look is so great. You've mixed a couple of very clear decades together, but blend really well. Again, I don't want to walk all over what we're going to get to in the film, but again, advocate of independent filmmaking, knowing that time crunch, it's always a race. So shooting this whole thing in 2 weeks, right up until pandemic. I mean, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. The fact you got something out there. I can't wait to go on this journey and learn more about the details with you guys.
Yeah. So when do we start watching this thing?
Well, usually it goes at 1:15. I don't know. I mean, we could start it with just you and I. I don't know with the other plans.
Can start. I think we're evolving, kind of like traveling. We're trying to like, so I think start and Libby will get on.
Okay.
Pop in. She likes to be fashionably late, so
it's very LA. Know. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, but we're Texas girls, so
you play the part well. All right. So this is a second screen experience for everyone watching at home. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a preview of when we start the sync here, because I have the film up at home myself. So I'm right at the beginning and probably 3 seconds into the runtime. So I'll give 2 seconds into the runtime. I'll give everyone a countdown. Once we hit 0 on that countdown, I would press play on my side. So if you're linked up with us, then you'll be able to follow through. Look at that. It just came out today. I've actually watched this film twice already, and I only had a chance to have access to it here today as well. So I'm riding the habit train like everyone else is right now to prepare for this evening and to really celebrate the fact that you're here with us on release day. This is in select theaters in Los Angeles as I speak. Our friends over at Arena Cine Lounge, Christian, is actually showing the film tonight as well. Very exciting that you could be watching it anywhere. Again, this is the magic of 2021, right? You could be watching it on your popular streaming device or actually go to the theater and watch it as well.
Thank you for watching, whoever's out there.
Okay, don't thank me.
Person that's watching. Thank you. I appreciate you.
So again, this is also for you, Janelle, to sync up. I don't know if you're doing this on the mobile side, if you're going to be able to sync it up with us.
Oh, okay. Sync it up on the mobile side here.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I have it on my phone. I'm going to log into Amazon Prime Video. I'm going to start over the movie, and I'm going to watch it on there.
Keep that, kill that volume. We don't want to get a copyright strike for your content. Okay. And then keep that phone charger handy, because we don't want to lose you while we're going along with this. I mean, you live the movie at this point. You could probably just talk along even if we don't have it right away. But
I can see it on your screen, no?
Well, no, I wouldn't be able to show you the whole film here on YouTube on our streaming, because I'll need to pull this away once we get started.
So they don't even get to watch it with us?
Well, no, it's not really approved for all ages and all audiences, and YouTube is for everybody.
Oh man! So we have to hang out like this, and then pull out another device to watch it.
Second screen experience is what we try to call it. Try to spin it like that.
Okay, sounds super modern.
Yeah, I like that spin.
It's so modern and cool.
Well, the idea is that people also engage with your art. So if they're going to buy or rent your film at home, yeah, I mean, we're not just giving away the milk for free here.
Okay. I got it queued up.
So I'll do a countdown. We'll sync up. So the idea is that we're watching at the same time. Then, like I said, I'll turn this screen off. It'll just be us. We got to carry the whole load here, so be prepared for that. But that's the idea. We good?
Yes, good.
Excellent. All right, everyone. Once again, you can find this movie on Apple TV, Amazon Video Direct, Google Play, or the Vudu store. If you get it on Apple or Vudu, you can watch it in beautiful UHD like I did earlier today. It was shot in UHD and it has a rich color, so I recommend it as a film nerd. But anywhere you can rent it. I'll give you guys a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. You see it start there. We'll wait for the logo to come up. That way you know you're synced with us. Well, I check back on it later. There's our Lionsgate logo. And again, in order to protect copyright, I'll stop sharing. And then it's back on us.
Oh.
Yeah, so the idea is that people have synced up, and this way they're watching it on one screen, they're watching it.
I don't know I'm like, don't know how to do it. Oh, okay, here we go. We're watching.
Yes, the movie is on. This is happening. We started on some kind of intercut footage of childhood speak, and again, you guys kind of label where you come from after we come off of credits with the Corpus Christi element. Having only been to the biggest cities in Texas a couple of times, what was it like growing up in Texas?
I mean, for me, I think it was really great. I clearly got a lot of inspiration from there, so I'm not mad at it.
You got your story out of it for sure. And then let's see here. We're gonna come up on this here in a second. Just trying to sync my notes to make sure I have the right stuff to talk about at the right time as we watch through the movie. Obviously, in early reviews of this, there was some inspiration from people like Tarantino. Anyone else that inspired you with the look of this film coming into it?
That inspired me?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there were lots of things that inspired me. I mean, I had I had a specific color palette that I was going after. I had I did grow up Christian. I did quite a bit of praying in my childhood and still in my adulthood. So a lot of that. There's like lots of inspiration that I had making it. I mean, I think even without intentionally pulling inspiration from something, you kind of just subconsciously, it just kind of comes out. You can't really help it.
No, so let me reframe the question then. As a good Christian girl in Texas growing up, what were the movies that you watched or identified most with yourself?
Wow. Well, some of my favorite movies were, Christian F was one of my favorite movies. I loved Badlands. I loved Switchblade Sisters. Sorry, I was running around today. It's not the wine, I swear. It's my first glass.
Perfectly forgiven. You guys have everyone involved has a very busy day today.
Let's see, what else? And then one time I got in trouble for doing Bloody Mary in the mirror, and I had to watch The Exorcist, and that was terrifying.
Okay, film watching as a punishment. That's definitely going to lead to directing as an adult. Yeah. Make a note, kids.
There's a dark story for you.
No, I like that. I wish my parents had tried to use that as a punishment. It was like, we're going to make you watch movies. That's going to be it.
Well, it wasn't that watching movies was a punishment. It was like, this is what happens, if you, mess around with the devil. You get possessed by him, and then you start spewing out pea soup. So I was pretty scared,
Definitely an influential film on your life. It appears in multiple ways. So speaking of color palette and speaking of now we're into the film itself.
This shot has a lot of my colors in it. And the one speaking, Julie Mintz, she's a great actress. And when I was in high school, she was a few years older than me. I used to use her ID to buy beer.
There you go. Okay, I'll look for the similarity in the two of you.
That's Libby's older sister.
Oh, okay. Now the last name connected because I was like, oh, I'm not familiar with the first name, but now it all connects.
Yeah. There's a little secret.
So in with the color palette of this, it has that kind of that earth tones feel that you find in East LA. Where did you guys make this movie for the most part?
Oh, this is in a church. Pretty much most of the locations, we folded a lot of our locations into a mausoleum and a cemetery. And then we made a lot of things happen in there, and I'll tell you as you go. But yeah, this is a classroom inside of the church at the cemetery.
Over in Pasadena, I think.
Altadena.
Well, for 99% of the world, it's the same thing to them. Well, of course, they don't even know what Pasadena is.
Yeah.
No. Altadena is north of Pasadena, north of the 134 for the LA locals that are paying attention. Yes, very different. Do not group those two groups of people together, but still plenty of church opportunities. And again, I love the hills in the background. Again, to me, that's what screams East LA. And then you guys have your kind of Millennium Falcon of this movie, this 72 Ford LTD that is a beautiful picture car. Not to overstate the talent that is also.
Oh, there was a question that popped up. I think I missed it.
I know. I also missed it because I was geeking out on the car.
Evil. To watch one of the greatest horror movies ever. Okay, right?
Exactly.
It's an epic movie. But, you know, when you're a little girl and you're like, I was just messing around with Bloody Mary, I was pretty scared shitless. It took me a while to sleep in the dark after that. But it's an epic movie, don't get me wrong.
Unparalleled. I mean, nothing will ever come close to it.
Like, I loved like Tales from the Crypt. Like, I loved watching scary stuff. Can I say bad words? I almost said shit. Oh shit!
I'm pretty sure you can say shit. If not, I will bless that.
You just said shit.
Exactly. That's why it's okay now. It's
okay.
By that rule, we can do that.
Chat shit. We have not chat. We said shit.
The nice thing is, it only affects the live portion. When the large editing staff at Film Threat goes back and makes the for YouTube version of this, they'll go ahead and bleep us out on anything that we say.
So they're gonna take our shitting out?
I don't know. That's not my department. I'm not in legal. I think they can leave it in, but you know, all audiences. We are
at Eric's house, Gavin's.
Yes, so, we went past his introduction a little bit, but we are flowing with it. What was it like working with Gavin on this project? Tell me about it.
He's great. I love Gavin. He's become a really, really, really good friend of mine. I mean, all of the actors actually in the film, I've gotten super duper close with, and I've worked with since then. I'm actually doing another film with Gavin. He's just he's a sweetheart. I really adore him.
And he's great in this. I mean, not to put the cart ahead of the horse on a lot of this stuff, but I was initially when watching this, I was like, oh, he might only be in one scene. Like he might like kick off some plot and then disappear. No, he comes back, and all the stuff's great. Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to spoil it, so I wanted to say something about it.
You know, I can't imagine this is the first time someone's watching this movie along with us. I mean, if you're one of those people, thanks for taking this ride with us. The idea is that maybe you've seen this before as you're watching it, but no, I mean. There are a lot of jokes I could have made at the top of this show where it's just like, hey, it's a movie that easily passes the Bechdel test. You know, there's plenty of female empowerment and you know, strong female characters. So you take a male antagonist in the film and you make the assumption it's like, well, you know, this guy's going to become too important to the plot, or he's going to be subservient to him. And thankfully, you guys went against type on all of that stuff, but he was still great.
I love because he's like, Gavin's like so committed to learning his lines and like this whole monologue, which I think is epic. And then this part that's about to happen is like, it still makes me laugh. It's really funny. Just if you watch for a second, he's like how he gets like so serious. You know what I'm talking about. And then he's like, well, anyway.
You gave it a moment to breathe. Not that I just stepped on it, but.
That's right. She's like, what the. Like he's doing this like he's like this holier than thou character, and he's like spewing out all this advice, and then he goes to do a line of cocaine, and you're like, wait, what? Like, it's always like those type of people. You're like, really? I don't know. He's just great. He was so fun. And so is Bella. I love Bella so much.
It almost goes without saying. I mean, again, the vehicle that is driving the plot, obviously, she had a great performance here. And again, we'll get into costumes. We'll get into the different looks that you guys have. I mean, I'm not.
She's wearing I dressed Bella in a lot of my clothes in the film. She's wearing my jacket. And that patch that she has on her jacket was actually my grandmother's patch. So I threw a little bit of her in the film. And then, well, I'll tell you when we get to that scene, there's this really crazy thing that I just learned today when my mom was watching the movie.
How long do we have to wait?
I don't know. Well, until we get there. I don't know.
Okay. I wasn't like, if it's like 50 minutes down the road, I got to make a note.
Watching the movie. This is really hard.
I know. This is.
And then I'm talking to you.
Again, we usually do these things after the film has been out for a little while. You know, it's not something you do on a day and date type of experience. I have to stop though. I love the color. I love this space. You've mixed the 70s with like the early 2000s in this movie. It's like there's only 2 decades that exist, and they've just barely overlapped just a little bit.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, that was what I was going for. So thank you.
They don't pay me the big bucks here at Film Threat. No problem. No, I'm a colorblind individual, so I don't have the full spectrum of colors.
You know what's crazy is I actually think I'm like color. I wouldn't say fully colorblind, but I'm a little color skewed. So I think that's why, from what I've been told, because I'll think something's a certain color and they're like, well, it's actually a little bit different than that. And so if you look at, like, you know, there's Libby, since she's not here, but she's there on screen. There's I think I might be a little off.
There's a colorblind test book that kids
We
get.
might be the same, because you're seeing my colors the way that I see them. We're speaking the same language.
Well, again, I don't want. I mean, who knows what rabbit holes we'll get on these kind of conversations? But as
Am
someone
I
that's
talking too much?
that's literally your entire job this evening. There's no way you could talk too much here. That's what we're here for.
Woo! I mean, I don't. Okay.
No, as someone that's dabbled in directing shorts and small pieces myself, I'm always the guy that's making colors more vibrant because I have a more limited spectrum. So when you take a color palette and you make it more vibrant, it plays into that, where it's just like, well, I don't have 36 million different colors that I see. I may only see 18 million, which is still plenty, but it means that you're going to make it more vibrant, make it stronger in that part of the palette that you're using. And that's what I got out of watching the film this morning was, again, look at what you have in this space. It's so vibrant. It screams the 70s.
Hey, for all we know, it's black and white to everybody else. You and I are kind of colorblind, so.
It's true. To go back to what I was saying before, there's a test that kids usually get in elementary school where they like show you like it's a big orange 7 around like a teal bunch of little dots, and they go to the next page and you're supposed to see like an H or something. And if you're colorblind, you just see like blobs. And I just remember being in like kindergarten, the woman administering the test like just couldn't understand. She's like, "What do you mean you don't see the
Wait,
H?"
You see blobs?
Yeah, it's blobs of color. I mean, I don't want to take away from what we're doing now, but go look up like colorblind testing when this is over, and you can figure out exactly where you might have holes in your rods and cones.
Okay. So I love them. So you can see the mausoleum.
Yeah, and that's I had noted. I want to know more about this location and how you guys put together.
These are all my costumes. I seriously collect. I get them. There's this amazing costume shop in Hollywood called Adele's, and I've been going there since I was 18 years old, and I get like the coolest stuff from there. And I costume the SHIT, in case we're not allowed to curse, out of this movie with that.
What percentage of the wardrobe in this movie is part of your personal collection then, either before or after?
All the clothes you're seeing in this room are all mine.
Wow. Okay.
I collect. I mean, I have an entire. That's one of my very good friends, Caroline Demore, and then Hana Mae Lee. She's magical. Love her. And then obviously Andreja. I didn't even talk about Andreja Pejic. She's like, such a sweetheart. Yeah. No, all this. It's a big game of dress up, and this. I got to play with all my costumes.
Not only is the color vibrant in a lot of this film, but also the costuming. It's all over the top. I have it in my notes about the costuming group, although it's kind of scattered, but learning more and more how involved you were with it. I mean, that goes a long way in creating your vision as a director.
Oh, I mean, I was literally like, Bella, there was sometimes I'd go to set and I was like, we're missing mustard yellow, like, or something, like, and I'd take something off of me. Like one day, I think I even gave Bella my socks, and she's like, "Dude, I would only do this for you. Your socks are like sweaty and wet." Like we were like so tight.
And that is why you tune into things like this, because you're not going to hear these stories anywhere else. Like and that.
I'd be like, "Bella, you gotta wear these pants." She's like, "Dude, these are your pants." She's like, so she'd do her scenes, and she's obviously like super professional and so badass. And then at the end of the scene, she'd unbutton and be like, "This shit's fucking tight. How do you wear this all the time?" Because she's like Bella's like, she's such a like beautiful like babe, but she's also like so tomboy too. She cracks me up.
I mean, you touched on so much great stuff. That's something you could only get away with in independent filmmaking at a level of camaraderie. And it goes beyond that director-talent relationship. That's, you guys are friends, and you are like, she's respectful enough of you to be like, "I'm going to put on your beautiful looking yellow sweaty socks because we're going to make the scene happen." Which you just couldn't do on a production.
We became friends from making this film, her and I. So when we met before, when I was casting, I really like this scene with the drug, or had drugs involved, and that's my girlfriend without the top on.
We could come back to socks, because I do want to touch on, you have a lot of music video direction vibes in a lot of the middle.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's some jump cutting and some, when you have like a small time to make a film, it was going to be like stretched out a little bit more, but with editing, it just kind of made sense to have it work that way. And again, it's supposed to be a fun experience, and maybe you get a fun lesson out of it.
Well, for aspiring filmmakers, it's definitely one of those things that I wanted to touch on and say, like, a lot of this kind of sequencing is made in post. It's made in editing. Decisions are made, again, with what you're cutting in, what you're laying over, how the color is done. How involved were you in that process?
Oh, I was pretty involved. I mean, but I got lucky because I had, Braden French, my editor. He taught me a lot too, and he brought so much to the table. And Hayley, my post producer, she also taught me so much. And and her husband Luke, he was my colorist, so we would like geek out on coloring together. And I don't know, it was just we kind of just all spoke the same language, and we weren't as afraid to like get weird. It all kind of comes to life. Sorry, this scene I love. And she's like, fucking bitch. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. It's okay.
You're quoting the film. It's totally acceptable.
I'm quoting the film. She says fucking bitch. Okay. Yeah. She probably also said shit. Or kill me, sue me.
No, anywhere you want to take this.
Me. You could put like some asterisks, like with a black bar across my mouth. You might want to get prepared because you're probably gonna have to do that a few times.
Well, it's not a children's film.
Your drink looks empty.
It does look empty. Unfortunately, no one's here to serve me a new one, and I can't leave what we're doing. So this is going to have to tide me over for the next.
I can hold the audience for you.
Okay. So we're still.
I got this. Go fill up your drink. I got.
Okay.
Guys,
this is uncharted territory for Film Threat watch parties.
Like a message and tell me what I'm supposed to be doing.
This is going to be the fastest mixed drink making ever.
Hurry up.
Tell us about the movie.
Talk to me. Ask me a question, or what am I supposed to be doing? Can somebody tell me what I'm supposed to be doing while he's gone? Okay, so let's talk about him. Somebody tell me something. Does it pop up? I don't even know what I'm doing. Maybe the question pops up. I'm talking to myself now. Okay, I'm just gonna watch a movie because I don't really know what's going on. So they're doing more drugs, more nun habits, more Bella. She's feeling good. She's partying. He's getting his drink. Oh, how did Bella get involved? Okay, thank you, whoever just did that. She got involved. We met. She had read the script, and we talked, and we had like a chemistry meet. And she was in the middle of shooting a film, and we did it all virtually, kind of like this. And we just it was like love at first sight, and and now here we are. Oh, he's putting his headphones back on, guys. Don't tell him what we said. Thank you, Brandon. You're awesome. Your name is really cool.
Oh, I did get back. We're back in this beautiful house location.
Wait, you love Bella? Me too. I'm talking to my friend Brandon.
Oh, see, this is where the chat.
I've made friends.
Good. Well, the chat should really pick up for the fact that I got sent away.
Finish your drink because I'm making friends whenever you leave. Just Brandon's my buddy.
I came on this thing, so
I like having you here. I'm just saying, it's just I'm also enjoying.
No, you sound like every other woman I've met at a bar. I'm glad that you're here, but I'm gonna talk to these other dudes now.
Oh, this is the best date ever. Hey, we'll get cheers. Hi.
I'm gonna come. I could do this. I'm gonna go this way. There we go. Wait. Add the sound effect later, Alan.
Okay. Brandon,
ready?
I hope you have a drink.
There we go. I'll even indulge in my level of nerd. These are my Enterprise D glasses. So
those are really cool. That's a big ice cube.
It is. It used to actually be a stormtrooper head a couple hours ago. That's the level of yes.
That's really cool. Oh, I really like this scene. Andreja in the scene and Libby. I mean, obviously always Bella, but like Andreja and Libby in this scene. This is like my favorite scene. Oh, see, Brandon thinks Gavin is so hot.
Wait till we get to the pastor later.
Brandon's having wine too. Oh, Brandon's husband here. Okay, I'm not coming after him. It's okay. I'm not coming after him. I promise you. I'm already on a date. I have a date here. Look at him. Even though his R2-D2 ice is melting.
Stormtrooper, but it's all good.
Okay. Stormtrooper, sorry.
Welcome to Film Threat. We're film nerds. This is what we do.
I hope I'm not embarrassing you on the date.
No. First, step one, have friends. Step two, embarrass them. We're all good.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we are missing the plot. Kind of like we're heading into Act 2. It's kicking off in a way.
Okay, should I stop? I'll stop talking.
No. Your job is to talk. We could talk about the movie. We could talk about what we're drinking. We could talk about anything.
Okay, this is great. Oh, this scene's coming. I really like the scene, and then we go into this really fun part with our villain.
Yes, this is where we learn that Gavin isn't the big bad, which I really love.
He's not.
Because again,
Gavin is actually like a sweet teddy, and you don't really know it until now. Here we go.
Yeah, if this scene was playing out in the 80s, he would just be coming down hard on this person, being like, you owe me, I'm coming after you. But then we go ahead and make this twist on it, being like, no, actually, this guy's somebody else's pawn too, and look who that is.
Yeah, this is great. I love this. It's fun. She says the F word a lot. Girl after my own heart.
Yeah, kids, when you're old enough to watch the movie along with this conversation, you'll get to see it. And for the rest of the adults,
my teenager watch it. Not my 3-year-old though.
Okay. Lines are drawn, decisions are made.
Yeah. I mean, my son's a freshman in high school, so, you know, I'm pretty sure he knows all the bad words and he's probably seen it all.
I do feel like we kind of talked over Josie Ho's introduction a little bit because it was a little quick. It was great. I mean, again, much like Gavin, she'll be back.
Oh, she's going to be back. I mean, you know.
Was that how did that casting go? How did you two get hooked up?
Well, Josie was also part of financing for the film, and she's oh, thank you, Brandon and husband. Yeah, the hair, I had to have it. I love the 60s little sprinkle, and I was like, if I'm gonna make a movie, my first movie has to have a 60s style villain that's wearing Western clothes. And people were like,
and if you Google Josie and like try to connect her to the character in this film, it's almost impossible, and that's a big component of it.
I was like, I want a big beehive situation, and yeah, no, it was really, it's fun. I like this. I love this shot. Bella's just so good at turning it on. I mean, you can't really go wrong with her. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, she's a really good actress.
She's the anchor that allows you to kind of get away with all the bigger fanciful stuff that you're doing in this movie. And she's constantly bringing it back. It's
true.
Oh, hey, Lauren. Lauren, our normal host of Film Threat Watch Party. Thanks. You're supposed to be on your birthday, buddy. Get out of whatever cave you're watching this in.
They don't have to settle down, Lauren. Where are you? Come hang out with us.
Well, he's here. Clearly, he's in the chat.
He's not even on the video? Where's he?
Oh, well, today
Lauren, what are you drinking? Oh, actually, that's a really funny question, the sequel thing, because that was mentioned to me yesterday. If we wanted to do some, like, really go for it and dive all in with some sort of sequel option.
Thoughts here on day one of release?
Keeping it mysterious.
Okay. No strong feelings one way or the other. I appreciate that.
You never know.
Yes.
You never know. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see Mads develop more.
And not to get too far ahead of where we are in the movie, but there's definitely opportunity there.
Yeah.
Now I get to hang out with this 72 Ford all day. This is.
Oh, isn't that car the best? The car in itself is its own character.
Very much so. Now I felt very much the Millennium Falcon of this movie. It's understated. Like, you're not drawing too much attention to it. It has that hero shot at the beginning, but it's just constantly, helping propel the plot forward. All your picture cars in this movie, and again, that helps set this kind of timeless aspect that we get into. It's 70s cars and some flip phones, and other than that, you almost can't.
I was pretty anal about that. I definitely was probably annoying some people because I was like, no, you can see a modern car. I was like, they're like, really? Well, what do you want us to do? I'm like, I can't see any cars past like early 1990s, the latest. And they're like, but we don't even have the budget to make you're trying to make a period piece. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do my damnedest to try to cut out the stuff that I don't want. So the car thing was a big thing for me.
No, I mean, that's one of those things that
have the flip phones.
I love it both. And that's always a big struggle of independent filmmaking. It's one of the first things that people make fun of is it's like, oh, you've got, two vehicles or two outfits that are very period specific. And then right in the background, you can just see like two people on their iPhones or whatever, just like killed it. But consistently through this picture. And I know, again, shooting in Altadena, plenty of Teslas in that neighborhood. So making sure that worked without.
We had to shoot around a lot. And I have to thank my editor, Braden, as well, because there were some shots that we had to cut out just because some of the cars. I was like, I can't do it. I can't look at it. And he was awesome. He had my back.
Because, here we are, we've got wides on this street. We've got, about to be the revelation in the character, and you're not controlling everything that's happening back there.
No. Somehow we kind of managed to camouflage it, cut it. He's great. Oh my God, that's so funny. Because that's my outfit.
You should just let us know when a costume isn't something that was previously your wardrobe.
I don't know how many times I'll be able to say that because most of it was.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
Okay. You were just on the precipice of saying something.
Oh, I don't know. I started watching. This is getting confusing because I'm looking at you. I'm looking over there.
I know. We get caught up in the film. That's always the biggest challenge. Is once I love the red in his shirt.
Beautiful in this light. They both look great. Gavin's a babe. Bella's like ridiculously gorgeous.
Did you scout this location, or was this a friend of a friend's spot?
My first short film in this house, and that's why we used it.
Okay. What's the name of that so people can look it up if it's out there?
House? I don't know. I just have the address. I'd have to look.
No, I meant the name of the name of the short film.
What did we? Oh, it was called Dream Girl. It was, and Libby was in it.
There you go. Look it up. Dream Girl.
It was a very short shorts. I wanted to really be, in doing sex scenes in the film and things like that. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't, and I do this even in photography and things like that. I don't feel like you need to overexpose women to get across that something is sexy. So I actually, this light flare that you see to make Bella the most comfortable she could be, because that's super important to me. I was holding it to flare in front of the camera to shield her breasts, because I did not want to be have my first film where I wanted to make it work without that. I think that you can be sexy without showing nipples and all the other stuff.
And it's a little disappointing here in 2021 that viewpoint still has to be mildly shocking. We should be.
Not that no, because I don't mind showing nipples through my shirt and free the nipple. It wasn't that. I'm just saying I just kind of wanted it to. Okay, I have to say this real quick. So this I found out today was what I was going to tell you about. My mom was watching the movie, and I didn't know this, but right by that tree, my great-grandpa and my great-grandma are buried, and I had no idea, and I picked this location, and I just found that out today. How weird is that? They're sitting right next to their gravestone, and I had no idea. My mom was watching it today, and I was nervous about her watching it because I was like, this is pretty edgy. And was she approved?
Okay, good. Because there's always the question with parents. It's how much of this did you do? How much of this is you just retelling your life? Yeah,
but no, how weird is that?
No, that, I mean, again, talk about serendipitous in so many ways. And you know, again, depending on people's faiths, it seems like a sign from a god to say, you know, a blessing onto what you're doing. Being able to have that happen and then have your mom go and notice it, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I love that. I really love low angles, that like the low up.
We're gonna get a lot of it in these scenes coming up, and actually go throughout the whole movie.
There's a lot. I love it.
It's a subtle love letter to East Los Angeles in my mind. Again, highlighting the palm trees, highlighting those the very small strip malls you'll drive by that you're like, how did those end up? Okay, whatever. Cool.
Oh, I love Libby right here when she's like, Jesus Christ. She's like, we're starting a convent. She's so great in this film. Okay, going back to nipples. We're talking about
yes.
Nipples.
Usually where we go.
I think nipples should all show all of the stuff that you got. Anything like that. I just meant I wanted to be extra mindful of Bella's comfort. So, and I didn't want this to be a film because Bella does have such a reputation that's behind her, and people expect her to be overtly sexual and expect her to be this certain way. And I wanted her to be able to make a film, not that she hasn't done it before, but I wanted our first film that we made together to not be about I saw Bella Thorne's nipples or I saw Bella Thorne's ass, or I wanted it to actually just be mostly focused on her acting and the sensuality of the moment and her mind. So that's what I meant when I was saying that.
And what I mean when I talk about the sensuality of a love scene in major motion pictures is that there has been this male-driven ideal that we see in 99% of content that accentuates that stuff so much. To have more female directors not only be empowered, but be controlling what they show in terms of that sensuality. It's you don't need it. You don't have to have it to get it across. Not that it's not a beautiful thing and you can't show it, but it's just it's not a requirement. It's not like 1985 where if you don't show a nipple, no one will watch your movie.
I mean, not to say that I'll never do a movie that doesn't have lots of nudity in it, but I just, for this particular one, and especially for her, I really wanted to not have that be because it would have just been its own character in the movie, because of how people really go after her, and I think it's super unfair and unwarranted.
It's still a long road to change kind of public perception surrounding those things. And this is one more step in look, you come for the story. Sure, there might be, something pops out there, but it's not what it's all about. It's adding to it where it does, but it's not a requirement.
I love them. When they're figuring it all out. Those are my socks Bella's wearing, in case you're wondering. My wet socks.
This is the scene.
No, she was wearing them in the other scene too. She wears them a lot.
I really hope there's at some point in the movie where we never see a shot of them, but she's still wearing them.
I don't even know where those socks went. Where are my socks?
You're missing out on a great eBay opportunity if you could find them now, unfortunately.
I would never. I still have all these clothes. I would never eBay them. But but I could, but I would never do that.
Well, it's a piece of movie history now. It's not just pop culture.
Yeah, it means too much to me. All this stuff.
34.
This part with Libby I love. I mean, I'm sure you've seen Borat, and so you recognize him. He's great. The original Borat.
I missed that. I did not realize.
Yeah, he's great.
This is why we're here.
He's it's a little secret hidden gem in there. She's like, what do you think you're looking at, old man? She said, now start praying.
I gotta get back in sync. I fell out of sync with you.
We're out of sync? Did I mess up?
No, you didn't do anything wrong. No. Your internet connection has been very great to be able to keep this going the whole time that you've got the movie on. We're having this conversation.
It's the hotel.
Shout out to whatever indescript location you're at. Yes, we're about 36 minutes.
I love this scene. So wait, so Eric aka Gavin, is looking through the window. Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
I can take it back. We're back. We're back
I'm
on.
here. I'm still here. Hold on.
I mean, you did me the favor of letting me walk away.
No, I'm
so
not
if you
going
needed
anywhere.
to,
I'm still
you
here.
don't have to. It's up to you.
My beautiful publicist just arrived. You want to come say hi, Pontia? Well, you're going to.
Who is it?
Well, I'm live streaming with the movie.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are live on the internet.
No,
live.
but she has my schedule.
Hi.
This is one of my best friends and my publicist.
Hello, this is Tristan over at Film Threat. We are here with people watching Habit live right now.
Yay, exciting. I'm so glad. Good times.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So look, she stole his gun. Oh, whoops. I said it too fast. So, gun stolen.
No, you got. I mean, you said it right as I was watching it. So I mean,
Really?
it might
So
be a little.
I'm the slow one.
Maybe now. I think I sped up about 30 seconds because Alan let the chat know we were at just about 30 seconds. And now we're being introduced to another extremely colorful character.
Oh, tough.
Talk about
Jamie
some
Hince,
color.
Jamie Hince is great. He's in that, the band that kills. Also, his other bandmate, Alison Mosshart, she's in the film as well. She plays a fortune teller.
She's coming up in just about 15 minutes, I think.
Did I just spoiler it?
No, I think. Yeah, you didn't divulge important plot points as we're watching this with
I told you
people.
at any point, black bar my mouth with like some asterisks or something if I have to.
No, this is. I love the costuming. I love the color here. It's so rich. Almost over the top, but not again with just like how much red pops and what he's got on. Then you've got
the
this
red
tough.
And turquoise. Well, I'm a huge fan of Technicolor, and those always pop in Technicolor. So I was trying to accentuate. I really wanted to do a Technicolor film so bad.
Next time. Well, you guys probably shot this on like Alexas or Alexa Minis or something like that. Yeah, full size too. Okay, no run and gun.
You're getting low. Let me know if you can go down the floor with the audience.
I'll wait till like a big scene that you can talk us through. I think where are we at
We
right
have
here?
one coming up.
Yeah, we're gonna get introduced to Aaron Díaz here in a couple minutes, which I'm sure can easily replace me on.
Woo, people love an Aaron Díaz. He is very handsome.
I was a little. No, go ahead. I was a little surprised he stayed with shirt on the whole time he was in the movie.
I know.
There was lament in those eyes. There was wishing. You could have written something slightly different.
It was with all due respect. No,
of course.
It would have been too predictable to get Aaron's those abs out, and it wasn't totally necessary. So I feel like just because somebody is really like sexy or handsome or beautiful or whatnot, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to take their clothes off.
Much respect. And to me, it was like, hey, if you can objectify women, you can always objectify men. Already having him in the film.
Definitely objectify men, for sure. You guys
already having him in the film was a starter for me. And then like as soon as you look the guy up.
I have a really great Aaron Díaz story. So he came to my house because the actor, oh, there he is. Aaron Díaz. Also, have you seen how hot his wife is? Oh my God, she's a babe. Anyway, so Aaron came to my house, and my nanny at the time, she's Mexican, and I've known her since I was 22 years old. My kid's nanny, not my personal. Anyway, she started to pass out. She's like, Ione! And she's like trying to like serve him food, and she looked like she was gonna pass out. And I didn't actually at the time, I didn't realize that he was basically like Brad Pitt of Mexico. Like he's like big time. And I had never seen her like that because I've had celebrities over at the house, which doesn't really think twice of it. But with him, oh my God, I was like, who are you? It was really, I love her. She's so sweet. Anyway, Aarón.
No, I mean, I wasn't familiar with his body of work, no pun intended, ahead of this movie.
There was a pun intended with that one.
But I'm just saying, like, you can't put his name into a search engine and find him with a shirt on. So I was like, oh, okay, I get this, and that's
now he's a hot priest. So
right.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like that's even hotter than him having his shirt off. Look at the way he gives her that communion wafer.
Well, this is your movie, so if you were going to direct Aaron Díaz how you wanted him to be, I think you made it happen.
I made him a hot priest. I mean, it's like the next best thing to him having his shirt off.
There's your pull quote right there.
You're gonna get me in so much trouble from this.
With who?
I don't know.
I'm sure Aaron hates this. I'm sure when he goes and when he finds what we've said about him, he's going to really just take us down a peg.
Oh yeah. Oh, that sign, that salvation sign, that's mine. I had a really great set designer, Robert Weiss. He was anything I said I wanted, he made it happen. That big gold cross, the salvation thing. You know, I love.
No, it was one of the better looking churches I've ever seen. I mean, again, the way the light was just hitting him in that sequence. Again, we're back to your signature low angle now, which I love.
Yep. I mean, I get like down on the ground. I usually put like one leg up. I mean, I'm wearing pants, I swear. I know it looked like I wasn't wearing pants because I put my leg up. I am. I got it. Anyway.
It's your party. Your party, you do it however you want. No.
I swear.
I know. You stood up earlier. We confirmed it. This isn't new news.
Okay. What if I actually have you ever done this with anybody? Oh, there's Josie. Oh, she's so good. My little Western cowgirl.
And now we're in this great periwinkle blue setup. Again, this is what my grandmother's kitchen in Southern California looks like. So this was great to see. I enjoyed this a lot.
Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. That makes me very happy.
But I did want to get back to commending you on the camera work. Again, so many independent filmmakers, first-time filmmakers, they just get paranoid to move the camera. And maybe this is a photography background thing, that this is what gives you this kind of edge. But the fact that you weren't afraid to give us stuff that wasn't just straight on or two shot or bland stuff like in so many independent films, you really did make this a visual feast, and I'm commending you for that now.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. I feel like we missed. Somebody said
we did.
My Sweet Thorns. So Bella, yes, Bella was on board as a producer. Sorry, as we're like torturing Gavin. She really had my back. She'd be like, because you know, when you're doing your first movie, some people are like, don't want to listen to you, and Bella always had my back through the whole thing. She's like, whatever Janelle says goes. So that was like her like role. Pretty much, it was like on repeat. So that's like, she totally had my back. She's the best. I don't know. I hope that answered your question, but
yes, a producer. Yes, had your back, which is the things that and you have access to that on set, which is rare for producers. Usually, they show up kind of infrequently to check on the budget, but instead, you've got somebody that's like fully endorsing your director, which has got to be a godsend.
Somehow, my thing froze.
Well, we are almost at 44. We're at 44 minutes right about now.
Oh, did you know this is rated R? I have to go. I'm under 12 years old.
I've had two. I have not had.
This is just grape juice. No, sorry. I went to pause it and it said rated R. It was giving me the age. Okay. What number are you at now that I just...
We're at 44:20. Gavin is still hanging with us.
Gotcha. I'm there. Okay.
There's a lot of, a lot bit more dramatic acting, a lot wider range in this scene. Was that at all a challenge, or did this come naturally to Josie and Gavin?
Oh, I mean, I kind of I wanted there to be, there's an element of like ridiculousness that was supposed to be there, like this isn't serious.
Did you have to draw that out of them a lot, or was that easy for them to get into?
They really got into it. I love the shot with the gun thing. They were so immersed in their characters that like, even though it was like there was like kitsch to it, they still committed to the character, which I think that's why it kind of worked. And then I'd be like, okay, guys, and they're like, wait, but like I'm still kind of like in this, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but we're good. We got it. You know, like they were so like Gavin was so committed. So was Josie and Jamie. Like they were all so committed. So I don't know. It was great.
Beautiful exteriors on this place. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
This place is crazy. I
was gonna say, do the exteriors match the interiors? Where'd you shoot the interiors for this? Okay, so this is all the same house.
This one is all the same house. So there were only 2 locations, there were 3 locations outside of the mausoleum that we shot at, and there were houses, and this is one of them.
We just come off of a
haunted.
Oh. Somebody get Zach Baggins on the phone. I smell a new episode.
There is a thing going on in this place for sure.
Well, I do love as we enter this scene, you start very Dutch on the angle, and as you slowly come in, we go back to level.
Yeah.
And now we have new character
Skye. She's so badass.
Again, the lighting in this space is just beautiful for anyone that has experience trying to light shadow and kind of like in a space like this, and you start to mix candlelight in there in a little while too.
Mm-hmm. It's not easy, that's for sure. And
big ups to Ari and the Alexa. That's a great camera to get the job done, but you still have to be able to execute on it. And this stuff all looks.
I mean, we had to like pump stuff in through the window, and then I was like, but then I need a little fill up here. I mean, I'm a photographer as well, so I know a lot about lighting. So I had to really get that right. Like I couldn't mess around with that. But that room was tricky because it's a dark room. But we were blasting through the window for that one.
No, it's one of those subtle elements of filmmaking that if you don't know the behind and what goes into it, you just look at it without thinking about it, because your eye, as you know, as a photographer, it exposes for you. You don't have to think about these kind of things. And once you start to look through a lens, and you're like, wait a second, I can't make out their faces. How do you make it look natural and not make it look forced? And so that is a challenge unto itself. So in all of these interiors, it just bathes in light and it looks beautiful. I love all this stuff.
Thank you.
Was photography always a passion? How did that become the profession?
Well, I mean, I always took pictures. And before doing this, I love the lighting on this. We were freezing our asses off. I couldn't even feel my feet. It was so cold outside. And I remember we were just like rolling back and forth the lights to make these moving lights happen. Anyway, sorry, I have like PTSD from like near hypothermia. What was it again? I forgot what I was saying. Pictures.
We're talking about your background, a little bit of photography that led to be able to do moving pictures, but how'd you get there?
Well, I did photography for a while, like I said. Before that, I dabbled in, modeling for a while, for years.
It's the way you said it made it sound weird. I won't delve any deeper into that.
I was a model.
Yeah. Okay. Totally believable. You don't need to say it with such a strange angle to it.
I don't know. I guess
can I get away with this sentence? The answer is yes. You can get away with that sentence.
No, I know I can get away with it. It's more like, I quit doing it before it quit doing me.
Okay.
I learned what it was like to be behind, or in front of the camera. I love that. Do you like that little like very like 80s news feed?
Oh yes. No, this is again movie making details that you just don't usually get out of independent productions, and stuff that movie nerds like me, where it's just like, that movie's not from that period of time. How dare they try to get away with that, that look and that style? Appreciate greatly, down to the sound distortion in, how that feed comes through to the characters. That stuff's, the fact you take the time to make it authentic goes a long way with the nerds like us.
Oh, I'm picky about the details for sure. Oh, I love this scene. I really do. That happens. Anyway, modeling, whatever. Then I did photography, and here I am, moving my photography around.
It's a natural progression, because I get a lot of, I talk to independent filmmakers all the time, and they would be so lucky to have, not necessarily the modeling background, although that would be great to have, but just, you know, the education through still photography, and be able to understand, you know, how to expose something, how to light it, how to make that kind of art before you, of course, before you start trying to make those pictures move. And then you're like, oh, now everything's moved. I have to move everything at the same time. And that's one of the reasons, to me, again, this thing came out looking so beautiful. That was one of my first notes, was it just looks so great.
Thank you so much. I love that little, when Libby does her little like kick at the end, it's like a pretty like gentle half-ass kick. That's like very Libby. Oh, here we are back to the hottie. I mean, Aaron Díaz. Just kidding.
Even as a straight man, I was very glad to see him come back. Don't get me wrong. I was like this whole
bit.
How can you be in one scene?
Yeah.
No,
and
no.
then Anna Calderon, that's one of my best friends. I stuck her in there. The nun next to Aaron.
Again, very deliberate with our angles in these scenes.
Oh, I'm crazy about angles. Okay, this scene is happening.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if there's anything. I was expecting you to tell me something about it.
No, I always really wanted. So when I wrote Habit, like the movie was written with the. I mean, I hope we're on the same time. I think we are.
I think we're watching the same thing. Yeah.
Into the confessional. So
yes.
I always wrote it.
It's a good euphemism.
Sorry, I told you. Still wearing pants. Anyway, I always wrote this with the confessional booth with the walls coming down, and to shoot something like that, because I really wanted it overhead, is not that easy. Let me tell you. So, and she's like so, I just like how like they're so sensual without us having to like overexpose, because they're both such sexy people in real life.
And again, it's not vulgar, it's not in your face, it's not gratuitous in any way. It's art, for lack of a better word.
So, this one we're circling around on a dolly track, and I get really bad motion sickness. And I was like, I was going a little cross-eyed there on that shot. Oh, there's Alison Mosshart, and then Josie Ho, of course.
I do like a bit of a tonal shift coming off the previous scene where you're like, you know, getting hot and heavy, and now you're like, okay, and now we're gonna have a kind of a fun tarot card reading situation. Now we got the candlelight incorporated. Still just beautiful composition, but a very different tone.
Well, yeah, I like kind of like, you're like all of a sudden like, whoa, wait, what? Like, it's like if somebody woke you up out of a dream and you're like, well, hold on, I was sleeping. Fuck. You know, like, so I really do like an awkward transition.
And you did it very successfully. Watching this the very first time, this felt very like, and now for something completely different. I mean, you know, you're not riffing on Python directly, but it's definitely like, okay, we took you to one emotional place with this sensual scene, and all of a sudden, boom, something you're not going to see really in the rest of the movie, but it's driving the plot forward, and it's going to be fun, it's going to be different. And a lot of the stylization that you were talking about went into the film. Thank you.
This is great. I just like how she's like Alison Mosshart is like, she's like, I said 3 sluts, and she's like, but there were only 2, and she's like, look, she's doing her like voodoo voice, and then she's like, 1 slut, 2 slut, 3 sluts, 3 sluts. You know, I just Alison was so good. We had so much fun shooting this scene. I had to go and like direct. I had to go into the other room to watch the monitor. Sorry, I'm still talking about the Alison Mosshart scene with Josie. Because I couldn't stop laughing. Like my cheeks were so sore because it was hurting watching them. But yeah. Anyway, in case you're wondering.
Was that all on the page? Was that a lot of ad lib? Was it 50-50?
No, it was
How
on
did
the
that
page, and then we were just having so much fun. I would like shout out things for them to say, and then they would do it, and we were just having so much fun with the scene. And like, of course, my producer came over and was like, hi, we gotta stop shooting. And I'm like, I know, but it's so good. I gotta keep going. But there was a lot of that. This room, I mean, it's so beautiful, but this room was the haunted room in that house.
How much did you have to dress this up? How much of it was like this when you were there?
I mean, there's some added dressing for sure to that. But you know, that room was kind of, it had a lot of its own. Sorry, I started watching the movie again.
You're doing great. If you go back and watch some of these other watch parties, there are stretches where everyone is just completely engaged and immersed. And I get that. You made a beautiful art. You want to watch it. You don't want to have to just talk through the whole thing. It's my job to pull that stuff out of you. So you're doing a great job.
Oh, after this, I have to watch it again. I mean, not have to, but I get to watch it again. I stand there with a microphone, and I'm gonna put pants on.
We've established you're wearing pants. For the audience at home.
I'm actually wearing shorts.
All right. Well, you said pants. I was going to go with. We're in Southern California.
But I'm actually going to be wearing a dress. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a dress.
So we're not your first or your last press stop today, is what you're saying.
No, but this is a top. This is a highlight of my life. My favorite.
Oh, wow. You heard it here first, Film Threat fanatics. We are the best thing she's done today. And she was on a plane at one point. So, the bar is high.
I was on a plane. Yeah, this definitely, I'm like, the plane or this. Yeah. Okay, by the way, I'm terrified of snakes. This is the first time I've ever been in a room with these kind of creatures, and I wish I could pull it. I can't pull up my phone, but I held that snake. They're heavy and really weird to hold. But Libby, what a trooper, right? We've got this boa constrictor on her, and we're torturing her. I mean, and it's freezing in there. This is in an embalming room.
No, obviously the very first time I saw this, it was okay, who's how many wranglers are on set? Who's comfortable? Who's uncomfortable? Who had to tell us? I mean, so you stayed at a distance. Were everyone else on set?
No, I didn't. I got all up in there. I mean, I was standing there because I couldn't let my best friend have a boa constrictor on her and not be all up in there. So I had to hold the snake. Oh, I love this scene. Libby's just so badass in this movie. Look at her. And Josie. I love it. No, I stayed in there. I held the snake. I was not going to do unto others. I was not going to have Libby be tortured and have all these snakes and shit on her. There's more snakes than you actually see in here that were in the room. Some of them were misbehaving, so we couldn't use them.
That would have not made me very interested as talent to want to go through with the whole thing. And I don't have a reptile fear. I feel like I grew up with reptile day at school. We held snakes. So looking at this on the outside, you're like, okay, well, if they're either defanged or they're not everyone's vicious. But if you had to be okay, we're going to swap these snakes out because that one's not so interested today, I'd be I don't want to be the one laying on the table anymore, if at all possible, just based on that information.
Yeah, no, she was a trooper, man. Libby was all in, and so was Andreja, and so was Bella. They were great. I mean, it's fun. This is fun. Oh, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. Just wait till what happens. What's coming up?
Alan, can you give us a time code check? I think I got stunted a bit. I fell behind. Where are you at?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just pressed pause. 58:51.
58:51. Okay, I did fall behind a little bit.
58:57. 58:58. 58:59. Sorry, I won't keep doing that.
No, we're good. I mean, if that's how you want to fill the last half hour of this before your next press junket, I totally understand. No, I got it up. We're back in sync. Of course, my notes are covered. Yeah, the snake thing, very impressive. Because it's not, I mean, there's no, you did it even better than Spielberg. He had to use glass to get those performances. You have snakes on people in scenes.
He was behind glass?
Oh, for the infamous Raiders scene where Harrison Ford falls in front of the snake, there's a glass pane that's actually fairly visible.
I did not know that, but I'm no Steven Spielberg, so this is a low budget indie. I don't think we could afford any glass.
For starters, I'd like to see Mr. Spielberg get on a plane, land, immediately have to watch his own movie on his phone while also dialing into a live stream and getting it done. I mean, I'm sure the man could do a lot. I don't know if that's in his range. So you're already 2021ing it a lot better.
Well, that's sweet, but cheers to Steven Spielberg. He's fucking great. I said the F word again. Damn it. Is damn it a curse word still?
You're the Christian. You tell me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if is this rated G? This interview?
Not anymore. No, we lost that a long time ago. I think it was the alcohol and the shitting. Yeah.
The alcohol.
I know it was like an hour ago at this point, but.
I'm sorry.
Janelle Shurcliffe, ladies and gentlemen, she's here all weekend. Check her out at her next event. She'll be talking about her film, 100% sober.
I'll be like, last time, well, this is actually literally my first glass of wine. You're just like cracking me up. And I do snort sometimes when I laugh.
Okay, when you laugh. Okay, I was just making sure it wasn't a coke habit. Okay, no, it's good.
No, I don't do cocaine at all. Only in this movie does my character do that. No, thank you. Don't need the hangover. So here we are.
And I will say, from a storytelling standpoint, initially this threw me for a loop because I was like, okay, well now are we gonna, where is this third act gonna take us? Where is this movie gonna take us? If the big bad is gone, I mean, we quickly learn that everyone's fears are not abetted by the events of our embalming room scene.
Bed.
Some more great intercutting, some more great lighting. Again, we go from those earth tones. Now we've got that blue light, a magical blue light.
Oh, I really like this scene with her. We're getting close to the end. Our date's almost over.
It's been great so far. I mean, all technical issues aside and making sure streams synced up. And again, the highest commendments for having to travel and also do this and then also go to something else in the same day. I don't think I could do it.
Oh, I mean, you could totally do it. You just need some good vintage clothes and you got this. Some messy hair, some vintage clothes, throw a cat eye on, you're there.
Spoken like a true director. You can make it happen.
How great. When we wrote this, her talking to herself in the mirror, that was always intended. And I was like, I don't know. I wonder how we'll actually pull that off. And I feel like it worked really well. And I like that shot a lot. I mean, you might be on 14 minutes into the film. I mean,
no, I'm still with you. I'm still with you. It's Bella intercut with Bella the whole way.
Bella on Bella.
Which I think would sell some tickets all by itself.
Yes.
And now we've made
this
it.
Scene. Here we go.
Yeah. We are once again with our hero car in what looks like, again, Pasadena at night. Altadena. Sorry, my mistake. Don't want to offend the locals.
Altadena. Hello. My grandparents are buried in that cemetery. We talked about this.
I know. And it is a really great part of town that no one talks about.
Right?
In front of everybody, that's usually how I like to do it. Definitely not in private. It's usually in public.
Well, that way we can ask and be like, wait, okay, so who was right? And who
Exactly. Who started this? Really, what was it about? I didn't send the food back. I was fine. I would have eaten whatever they brought me. I just want to be clear.
I really love this scene with Bella with the cigarette. She actually really was struggling to light the cigarette, and it worked in our favor. And I was like, oh, God, I think that we gave her a broken lighter, and she somehow nailed it and got it. Okay, so I've never shot up heroin, and I've never seen somebody shoot up heroin. I've never done it, but I'm pretty sure she nailed the shooting up heroin bit.
Much like bomb making in films, I feel like if you do it just a little bit off of correct, you're almost better off because you don't want to be leading kids into things that they shouldn't be doing anyway. So you don't want 100% authenticity in your drug use always. I bought it as someone that's also never done heroin. Don't do drugs, kids. That's what we're saying.
Okay, cool. Yeah, drugs are bad. Hey, you. Don't do drugs.
There we go. That Paris Jackson song kicks in, which is going to be
great. Paris is a really talented musician and a solid human. I love that girl. She's become her and Bella. I mean, Paris is God, she has such a special spot in my heart. I feel like she's like family to me. Her and Bella. I really lucked out with them. It's a pretty kick-ass car for a nun, right?
No, again, it's there's not a vehicle that you don't highlight
Oh,
in this
thank
movie
you.
that's not beautiful.
My sweet Thorne.
And there's some banging tracks in this movie as well. You don't
Well,
even
that
skip
Duran
by it.
Duran, the chauffeur, is one of my favorite songs. And then just wait till that one that comes.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that, I was like, "Ooh, you guys spent some money to license that thing. Nice."
Actually, I will say that Duran Duran and Billy Idol were very supportive of the film, I must say. Very supportive.
Even better.
So it really wasn't just about money with them. It was actually mostly and almost fully just about supporting the movie. Was not a paycheck. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but it really
I think you said all the appropriate words possible. You didn't mention numbers, you didn't mention haggling and legal. You just said, look, we had a great piece of art. We had a great artist that we were hoping would support that great piece of art, and that happened.
Yeah. Oh, this shot with the light with the cross, I had to have that, and it was a tricky thing to execute. And then that light leak across. But this light with the cross, I had to have.
You hit on all my notes from this sequence because, again, talking about the lighting and how you brought it together. And this is one of those things that a lot of viewers don't think about, the struggles that go into making this kind of stuff happen. Because, are you holding a piece of particle board that you've cut a cross out in front of a 1K or something? It's like, how'd you pull it off?
It was a thing for sure.
And of course, lens flares and doing them properly and making it look, natural is very difficult.
God, Bella's so good. I love watching her.
I mean, I want to, it's hard to talk over the big emotional scenes in the movie. You don't want to.
I know, right? And look at Paris, those eyes that she has. You get hypnotized by them. You can't help it. She's so beautiful, and her eyes are like so majestic.
And that's where that photography background comes into play, because you can spend a lot of time getting that still image look and making it so crisp and so beautiful, and then being able to make that happen in film.
We're still on the scene. We're still going. Do you want to come say hi again? Oh. I guess it's just you and I. Nobody wants to join our date.
We're getting close to the end, I will say.
Now we got Paris is a nurse. And she's a really great nurse and a great mom and a great spiritual figure. And now we're still in the hospital room, which is actually in that mausoleum. It's downstairs beneath the embalming room that we shot the snake scene in.
Using every inch of your locations. Because this one, and I wouldn't have on the surface thought it was the same spot. But I do love that, again, we're here with the low angle, high angle, trading off. Who's looking in on her from above?
Oh, here we go. This is so exciting. I love the music that's playing right here, even though I can't hear it live because you made me mute it. Thanks.
I'd like to thank the internet. I don't think that's not my fault.
Brandon's husband's back. Oh, no, actually, this is all very legit. Okay, before going back to lighting, coming back to Brandon's husband, Jamie Hince's tough, his nose, the blood, there wasn't enough blood on there, and I did go in and add more blood to his nose. So not only was I giving people my wet socks that I was sweating in, I was also adding some blood to his prosthetic blown up nose.
Yeah,
okay, Brandon, what was your question?
We're talking about how much of it was, how much of that lighting did you get on set, and how much of it did you punch up in post?
That's on set. We barely punched it up. I mean, I really just kind of messed with the colors. We didn't punch up. I do shoot on the darker side. I like a low exposure. So occasionally I have to lift it in post, but this is pretty like accurate.
Now, I'll go deep on the film nerd side. Did you have any preset LUTs that you were looking through on a director's panel, or were you
No.
just looking at you were just looking at it in log, you're looking at it washed out, but you knew what you wanted?
I knew the only guide I had for certain scenes is like I really geek out on obviously like Technicolor stuff, but like I really like even when I'm shooting photography or anything, I really like to take it afterwards, and then I like to decide like what I'm gonna do with it. So with this, I mean that's okay. Oh, we can't talk during this moment because this is really good. The blood splatter. Thanks, Brandon. Or Brandon's husband. Brandon and husband. What is your husband's name? Have you ever seen a cane that has it? They used to have like swords in them, by the way.
Yes.
Pretty badass. I want one. You can't say that was part of my wardrobe.
No, having thrifted plenty around LA, it's one of those things that you won't necessarily find out in the open, but plenty of great artifacts like that around. I
love this angle with the sword. Okay, guys, get ready. SHIT is about to go down. And one of my favorite songs is coming at you.
You'll have to tell us, was this a one take situation? You know, how much,
no,
did you know?
We did not get, we had to nail this shot. We could not screw this shot up.
And we're
doing it right now.
Was talent aware of how much this was gonna, okay.
Bella and I, we were like, we got this. I love There we go. Oh my God. The beehive. I definitely got some blood splatter on me.
I think that's kind of an important rite of passage.
It was. It was for sure. She's like, oh fuck, I really did that. Okay, so yeah, I decapitated her. We cut her head off.
And did Bella know how much like?
And I did a decapitation in my first film, and there was a lot of blood being sprayed everywhere.
People should be so lucky to have that privilege and that honor to be able to do that in their first film. Have it look so good, and have it play so well, because it's one of those things where, again, working with low-end practical effects, you spend all that time and do it, and it's like there isn't enough pressure, and it doesn't come out far enough, or you do the opposite, and there's too much. And all of a sudden your talent's like, you just money shotted me in this situation. That was not what I was signed on for. I'm assuming that all went according to play, and you guys didn't have to take that a dozen times.
We couldn't afford to and could not do that. So we had to nail it, and Bella kicked ass. And that was a process, it was obviously we didn't really take Josie's head off. So that was clearly a fake head.
Worked out, and now we're in our
Jim. Hi, Jim.
To Brandon and Jib, thank you guys for hanging out with us out through this entire thing, and really being kind of the best third wheel on this evening movie date possible. You allowed me to refill when necessary, so I appreciate it. Oh,
I know. Brandon and Jim kind of like had your back because like
I know they
were on the fort with me when you were over there messing around with your ice cube. So
look, first of all, you told me to leave, and second,
about to end.
I know we don't want to miss this.
I did. I excused you. Brandon did have my back, and Jim. You guys got to send me a message so we could really be buddies. I think my phone literally. Oh no, we did it. We finished the movie. We stayed through the whole thing. We didn't get disconnected. We made it to the end credits. I know you've got other things going on here tonight. I won't keep you long. Biggest takeaways from you in this experience? I mean, tell us a little bit bigger picture about making the movie. This was my, I guess I will say that thank you all and you, my date, my film school date. This was my film school making this movie. I learned so much making this film, and I feel extremely blessed and honored that people believed in me enough to execute this vision and this dream that Libby and I had. And I thank you for coming along for the ride and the blood. And how badass is Eyes Without a Face when somebody's cutting their head off, right? Don't actually cut anybody's head off. Bad idea.
Right. That's right up there with the heroin. Kind of 1-to-1.
Okay,
Don't do those things.
So let's talk about the rules here. After watching this movie, don't do heroin. Probably don't fuck a priest.
That one's on the maybe list. I like that.
Well, I mean, if you're under 18, don't fuck a priest.
Okay, good. I can endorse that for sure. Probably, yeah.
Priest fucking is bad. Okay, so and then we were talking about let's not cut people's heads off.
Okay, those are the 3 big rules that we're going to apply.
We're actually going to omit the priest one.
I was really hoping you would just flip off the audience there as you changed your rules.
Then I would just be keeping the priest. I got to know. I'm going to put that one down.
Okay. I'm following along. As the credits roll, we'll.
Really, don't cut people's heads off and don't do heroin. This is my PSA. No heroin, no decapitations, and probably don't really shoot people with guns. We did or torture them with bugs and shoot them between the eyes.
Okay, snake stuff's okay though.
If you're dressed like a cowboy, don't probably shoot a human between the eyes.
Okay.
Or stab a little boy in the neck with a needle.
We kind of missed all that stuff too. Yeah, during. We should play this at the beginning of the movie. This should be the header to be before you enjoy the habit. Yeah, okay. Just be aware of these rules.
Habit. Okay, here, I'll start over. Before you enjoy habit, I just want a disclaimer to know. Okay, hold on. Here we go. The disclaimer to watching Habit. Here we go. Don't cut anybody's head off. It's not nice. Okay, it's really not nice. Billy Idol, Eyes Without a Face is a really great song. You should probably go listen to it right now. Pause this and go listen.
For anyone under 30, Billy Idol was a very popular musician, really across all decades, starting in the 80s, just so you're aware.
Right. Okay, so now you're back. Now I need you to pause it again and go listen to Duran Duran, The Chauffeur. Also another really great song. Okay, now you're back. Okay, so also don't shoot people with guns in between the eyes or anywhere else on their body. That's very mean, and it can be deadly, and it's not okay. Can you remind me of the other disclaimers that we were?
Well, you're kind of doing them in order, so I don't know if we didn't really talk about head decapitation. I mean, we talked about head decapitation.
We didn't decapitate yet.
Right, we haven't got there. I know that's on the list.
Don't cut anybody's head off. Don't stab anybody with a knife.
Impersonating nuns is that how do we feel about that one in real life?
You can definitely pretend to be a nun and score some cash.
There you go. I wouldn't say that's the perfect thing to end on here this evening, but I know you have a busy night ahead of you. I want to thank you, Janelle, so much for coming out here tonight to Film Threats Watch Party for Habit.
I really hope that Brandon, you and Jim are gonna go dress up like nuns and go do all the things tonight.
If there's anywhere you could do it, it would be here in Southern California.
You too, my sweet Thorne. Thank you for hanging out.
You can find Habit on your major streaming video on demand platforms. Again, Apple TV and UHD, Amazon Video Direct, Google Play, and also on Vudu, where I watched it, also in UHD. It also is currently playing in select theaters. I know here in Los Angeles, some good friends of ours are also showing the film. So get out there, support your local theater, support independent film. Janelle, once again, it's been great. I guess the best I can hope for now is a second date. So I'll have to check back with you later. And for everybody else.
Hey, you know where to find me.
Oh, no. All right, for everyone, thank you guys for coming out. I actually don't know how to end these things, but this is my first time here as well. So Alan will have to help us get out of this situation.
We both know that I don't even know how to end.
I know. This is not a you thing. You don't have to worry about it. We may never cut.
What do we do?
I think we hit end broadcast, but I think Alan might hit end broadcast. I mean, you don't even have to stay.
I can just leave.